option A's are the options that we are, and the add-ons are now what we have on the table. And on that add-on, I think we also have to have a discussion. There were a few folks board-wise that had some initial feelings on the closing of 2 schools right away. So with the option A's on the table, as well as any of the add-ons that we have, is there any specific discussion on any school?
I'd like to ask one question because this is relevant to me in understanding a little bit of the savings between closing one school and closing another. Dr. Sawin, could you speak a little bit to the issue of the water leak at Central? I've seen the chart for the water usage. To me, it's a bunch of zigzags. It does not correlate to school being in or a certain sports season, and it appears to have gone on for a while. I think there's some people in the community are concerned about that. Can you speak to that, and can you let me know what you think is in store in terms of possible savings now that that leak has been fixed and corrected?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Sorry about that. We started to notice a spike in our water consumption at the Central High School somewhere late in 2013. It was jumping back and forth from July to August, September, October. And of course, numbers from July and August are difficult to measure because of the different impacts. So starting in the fall of 13, we started to look into options, trying to examine. We worked with the Village of New Lenox, which provides water to both the Central and West High Schools. We worked with officials there. They were analyzing the bills. They came out. They also looked at the service into the district, which included the water meters that were used. They replaced a couple water meters, trying to see if that was some of the issue. And they basically, in working with our prior Director of Buildings and Grounds, came to the conclusion that everything was normal and functional. I would also point out that around the school, we were not finding any of the traditional indications of a water problem. There wasn't water in the crawl spaces, there wasn't water in the basements, we were not having water build up in our underground pipes that we have manholes to. We weren't having wet spots in the field. So we weren't finding anything. The only places that we were finding pooling water was out in our athletic fields, and those have nothing to do with the water service because the irrigation in our water fields are handled by water from a private well, so that's no cost to the district via those water bills. So based upon that, we continued moving forward. As we rolled into the current school year, I'm sorry, it's August now, it all just blends for a while. When we moved into the 14-15 school year, Mr. Wilkie, our Director of Buildings and Grounds, and I continued working with it. We were comparing water consumption amongst all 4 high schools, especially trying to look at the number of gallons used between West and Central because they're on the same system, and between East and Central because of the relative sizes of the building. And we noticed that the spiking at that point in time that you referred to, Mr. McFadden, had started to kind of level off, and we were seeing this high usage. Again, Rich worked with the village. We looked at different options, and we started searching. Basically, in about April, we started working on trying to isolate the issue, and we would do it on weekends because what we would have to do is come in and shut down the water to the building and turn it on in different parts, and then our maintenance staff would get into the different crawl space areas where pipes were, and after literally 6 weeks of that, crawling through every basement, every crawl space, and looking in the ceilings and areas where there could be anything, we couldn't find anything. In the middle of May, we were able to isolate the issue. We knew it was outside the central high school, somewhere between the